everybody, it's April. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I am going to be sharing my first impressions on the Arteza Real Brush Pens. I picked up this set. It's a 48 set count on Amazon for $22, and that was with shipping. So I'm not sure if that's a great deal or not. I really have never looked into these things or what their normal prices are, but I'll leave a link down below to Amazon in case you're interested. I've heard a lot of things about these pens lately, and I thought I would give it a try. I have tried Zig markers in the past and wasn't really too comfortable with using them, and I wasn't going to invest money in something that I didn't feel comfortable with. So for $22, I thought this is definitely an option. They're supposed to be similar to Zig markers with the real brush type of marker thing with the watercoloring. So anyhow, I thought I would share the first impressions. This is the package it came in, and let's just open it up and see what it has to offer. So I think it is supposed to come with a water brush. Yeah, okay, so there's a water brush right on top. Has four pretty flimsy plastic trays that they're holding the markers in. Here is the water brush. So just a typical water brush that stores water. And so it looks like you have quite a variety of color shades there. So the bottom might be easier to see. Okay, and then the next tray. So they are like the real brush, but I don't think it's actually, I think it's synthetic, obviously. It's not like brush hairs, like a painting brush, you know, a watercolor brush. There's the next one, and then some neutrals on the last one. So just like with Zig markers, I think that Bristol Smooth cardstock is supposed to help achieve better results. So I did pull out my Bristol Smooth by Strathmore. And that's all it says on here is 300 series. I picked this up, I believe, at Michael's. So I'm just going to take a sheet of this out and cut it down to work with. And because it's a watercoloring technique, I will heat emboss an image on here. And then we'll see how that goes. So this, again, is the Bristol Smooth by Strathmore. And paint and see how that's going to work out. I have the Honeybee Warm Wishes, little fox here. I have worked on coloring him when I first got it, but I didn't really make anything with it. I was just goofing around trying to figure out colors. So let's stamp him in here. And I will use my VersaFine Black Onyx ink. Let me grab that. And then we'll clear heat emboss over that. So I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool just to remove any static that may be on this paper. And go ahead and ink up our little fox here. Hopefully I got that all in a row. Give that a little pressure, transfer that image onto the Bristol Smooth. So I would imagine we need to be careful touching the paper since it's smooth cardstock. Oh, I missed his little face there. His eyeball. And give that another go. Well, not the best image, but we'll just go with that. Let me get my clear embossing powder. There we go. Put that there. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find some copy paper. Okay, so I'm just going to take some Simon Says Stamp clear embossing powder and run that over the top of this. And that, you know, will help to give me that kind of like a well to work in, a raised surface of the outline. Heat that up, and then we'll give those markers a go. There we go. Put the cap back on. I feel like I was screwing it the wrong way, so it's not righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, it's the opposite. Okay, so what else? There's the lid to that. I need a paper towel, or I can just use my rag. Okay, so let's start out with some red browns. Alright, so we have like a 3 shades of brown here. I don't know if they're numbered. Let's see. Walnut brown is A164. Chocolate is A102. And tawny is A137. And then I might bring in, on the reds, there's this one that's kind of like a red-brown. So this one says Autumn Red A118. So we'll start with that and see. Now, so I'm watching, I kind of was really intrigued after watching, binge watching some of Mary Polanco's channel, and she uses these a lot, so that's kind of what enabled me. She was an enabler, and made me want to go and get these and try them out. So I feel like everything is cooled off. I'm going to just start up here at the ear and place some color at the top, and we'll see what happens. I would think in general, like most people I've seen use the Real Brush markers, that they kind of put the color down and then use their water brush to move it down. So I'm kind of doing that here. We got a lot of water. A lot of water, but it's moving for sure. I think I just have too much water. So I just dabbed off my water brush, try to get some of that off of there. Okay, so it definitely moved well. Let me throw in some of the brown. I'm going to bring in some dark brown. And I don't know how this would work. You know, I don't think most people don't do it wet and wet. So just dropping that wet in there. It's working though. It's really moving well. I think it's probably better to do it wet on dry. I mean, you know, to go in dry and then pull it out. So I think I just put too much water in here. So I'll let it dry a little bit, and then we'll see if we can add more color. Okay, so that is what it looks like when you do wet on wet, and then we have the just applying straight to the cardstock and then pulling it out with water. So right off the bat I can tell that it's going to work better if you just do it dry and then pull out as you need. So the larger images might be a little more of a learning curve for me, especially since I'm new to using this type of product in general. But so I'm going to move on to a different section. Let me zoom you down in case you are curious about these markers. Definitely I'm liking the pigment. I think I'm going to go back with this. Let's see. Let's try blending the two colors together. So there's only a little bit of room here around his hands. I'm going to bring in some of the, this is chocolate. And then we'll see if we can blend with the red. Yeah, So those blend immediately together. Those are really nice. Okay. And then pull it out with some water. I definitely like how these colors move together and how they're moving with the water. Okay, let's go to his tail. And there is a really, really fine tip on the end of this brush, so as long as you keep your eye on where the tip is, you can really get up against those lines and get in there. I definitely like this autumn red color. So I'm applying the water over here to the empty area first and then kind of going in. Sometimes it helps the water, like just gives it an area for once you pull the water out, then it will go into that wet area a little bit smoother, if that makes sense. Okay, so don't have any brown in there, but let's see. Let's go back with the brown. Put some red in. See how well those two are blending together. I almost like it better just working with the markers and letting those blend together instead of the water. Go back with the brown. It works really well using the markers together. Yeah, that's really nice. Very smooth transition there. You see how much more pigment I get without using water, so they are very pigmented. Okay, so I definitely like doing that without the water. Let's see if we can go back and add any color to his head here. I think it's dried off quite a bit. It's going nicely over the top of the dried marker. And then let's see, we'll add some red. And go with the water. So okay, So it works for sure. Let me see if I can clean up this little area, how much it lets me pick it up. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so that's definitely blending really well there. I'm going to go back in, add some brown to the tail. This I definitely put too much water on the face, so be careful of that if you're doing this. Okay, let me see. Here's my dark brown. Yeah. So it's not letting me add anything while it's wet. So just make sure it's dry before you add the color. So I think that's great. Definitely impressed with that. Again, Jude had loaned me some zig markers to try, and I did not have this kind of success on my first go with zig markers. Now, obviously this is pretty messy, but just seeing, you know, I just kind of getting a feel for the colors, the way that they flow, how they perform. So don't judge, you know, the markers for just me being kind of messy, but as you can see, the colors really blend well together. This was just a lot of water on this cardstock, but you can see here's the red. This is adding more of the browns mixed into it. It gives him a deeper, darker brown red fur. And then, again, just the red on the hands with a little bit of brown. But, again, they all really blend well together. Vibrant color. So, yeah, I would say this is pretty good. Let me try his sweater. We'll do a light blue and a kind of a medium blue here. So, bright blue, A108. And Arctic blue is A117. So, I'm going to go with the darker blue. And we'll start on the outside of the collar. I think coloring smaller images definitely as a newbie would be easier for me. I just happen to pick a large stamp, you know, so again, don't judge the markers by my coloring skills. I really, really enjoy the markers together. That is really pretty. Okay, so that's definitely something I would recommend. And this Bristol Smooth, it's moving really well on the Bristol Smooth. So I can push that darker blue around. Yeah. I really like that. I really like that. I'm glad I got these. So, yeah, I found them for $22. That's definitely a bargain there. Again, with the large with the large stamp, I feel like that's kind of messing with me because I'm trying to hurry and make sure that it's not going to dry too fast. So I'm using a little bit too much moisture, I think. This cardstock is peeling. So yeah, oh, a little bit more. do the lightest marker up here. I definitely like how they layer together. You can go back on top once it dries, so that's nice. Okay, well that's me just goofing off, not really trying to make it perfect, but just to get a feel of the markers, how they work, how they move. I definitely am impressed with how they work together. And then I would think on smaller images, definitely you would only need to apply the dark and pull out with water, and that would be, a very quick way to color your images. Okay, well, if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. Thanks for your patience, but that is my first impressions with the Arteza Real Brush pens. I got the 48 count. So I'll leave a link down below if you're interested and want to check it out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.